Good evening, our listeners. This is another beautiful Tuesday. We call it a Super Tuesday. Today, the house is very, very full. Yes. My name is Nimat, and on my left hand side, I have.
Yeah, hello, Mayo.
Hello, the black guy.
I am here, yeah, the black.
And on my right hand side, I have.
My name is Ambassador Olatunde.
And we also have another special person today.
Yeah.
It has been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but I'm Zaire.
I'm sure people will be surprised now.
Yeah.
He's here. He's
Yeah,
here.
it was a little bit of a surprise, but the ambassador, he forced me to come in today.
It is normal.
Yeah, you have to be here.
Ouais.
Since you are in town, you have to be here.
Yes.
And
of
our
course.
technician today is Noel, and our cameraman is Espayon.
Espoir.
Espoir.
Yes.
Okay.
It's Espayon of Togo.
Espayon of Togo. Now I get it. We have a lot to talk about today, but before we move to that, please, you're coming back. Okay, as usual, you know that before we start our program, we used to advise each other a little bit. So today we are going to talk about taking risks. You know, a lot of people are scared of taking risks. They don't want to take risks because they are afraid of failure. And taking risks exposes us to new experience and perspective. We are always scared to try new things because we don't want to fail. We don't want people to talk bad about us. We don't want people to see us as a failure. But sometimes it is failure that makes us very strong and to be able to do something that is new. It helps us to become a stronger person, and it makes us to overcome our fears. Because a lot of people, to do something new, they are always like, oh, people are going to talk bad about me. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. But it helps you to become a really stronger person. And okay, let's talk about the players, the strikers. Some of them, they took the risks to strike the ball, like to go, because it is once they are going to do it. This is their first time. Some people, like, it is first, they are going to do it first before they become perfect in it. So if you don't take risks, we can't become perfect in something. So we have to take risks before becoming perfect in anything we are doing. Because this life, we have to take risks. Because everything is risky in this life. If you don't take risks, you can't go forward. There's a saying that it goes, when it is difficult to jump, that is when you jump. Because if you don't jump, you will remain in the same spot for the rest of your life. So we have to take risk so that we can become perfect and learn from our mistakes. If we don't make mistakes, if we don't fail, you can become stronger. You can become a very strong person. You can move forward. So we really have to be strong. Thank you. Let's go to our next program.
Today, we stand together all around the world, joined in a common purpose to remake the planet into a haven of joy and understanding and goodness. No one should have to suffer.
What do you think about taking risks?
Yeah, taking risk is something good. You say so many things about taking risk. I don't know why you give me the floor. We have our grandparents in the house, so I don't know why but no, taking risks is something very important, is everybody's life.
Mm-hmm.
Last week we talked about always relying on people.
Yes.
If you are not able to take a risk, we always rely on people and all those things, and it cannot help you. So it's very important in life. At times, it helps you mature. If you are not able to take a risk, you cannot mature. You cannot build your self-confidence. If you used to take risks, you can have confidence on yourself. So many people are afraid of taking risk, but in one way or the other, you will face a situation in life in which, I don't know, I remember when I started this work of journalism, I never interviewed anybody before. One day, they sent me with Angelo Folikwe to go to an interview at Swallows. But in that year, I think it was 2020, something like that, his father was late, so they were planning how to, and we went there. The guy just told me, give me the machine with which I will work, and he left me there, said that he is coming. Till nightfall, I never see the guy. So, but I never interviewed anybody before. I haven't done it before. That day I was so afraid. But what will you do? You find yourself in a situation where you had to take a risk. So I went and I did it. I kept the sound very, very distant. Like I don't want anything to happen so that the sound will be delayed. If not, clash will come in. So all of this. And so that day I took risk. I have done things that I have never done before, and that helped me mature. From that day, nobody will cheat me now. If you take this thing, you will do like this or you will do like that. So in life, you have the habit of taking risk. If you take risk, the what is sure is that you will fail. You will fail, but the important thing is how you will rise up again. There is a say that says, if you fall, do not allow your falling place to be your sleeping place.
Yeah.
If you take risks, if you fall, don't allow yourself, don't turn that place to a sleeping place. We all know Dangote. If they told you many times that Dangote fall before today or failed, before today he has become who he is. I don't know, the biggest people in the world that we used to see today, they did not. It did not come to them very easy like that.
Yeah.
They have took so many rates. They failed. They rise up.
Over and over
They
again.
tried again. They rise up. They tried again. Maybe it's the 10th time that it will work for you. Maybe it's the 50th time that it will work for you. So the important thing is that in taking risk, surely you will fail, but do not stay there, say that I fail and all those things. So it will help you break many limits and all those things. And when you are, maybe some people will say, I don't have money to do this. You can take risks. Even maybe the thing necessitates a lot of financial things and all those things. Many people, they wanted to do things. Some people wanted to organize, for instance, tournaments. It necessitates money. They do not have any money, but they started. They end up and they were even surprised. How did I succeeded in doing this tournament very well? Because they took risks, they engaged themselves in it, and they succeeded. So taking risks is something very good and something important.
Yeah, even me too. I'm taking risks right now because this is my first time. I'm very nervous, but I'm facing my fear, right? I'm facing my fear.
Especially when you are between people that are used
Exactly,
in
yeah.
doing it.
Okay. As Elam have just said, I support what Nimot have just said and what Elam have said about taking risk. But there's one thing I just want to add to it is that in everything that we took in this world, there's a risk. Everything, even sending a child to school is a risk. You can spend a lot of money on a child, thinking that this child is going to be something else. Sometimes that child will be another thing entirely that you not like, or else maybe that child may not grow to the extent that the child will die, and you have spent a lot on that child. So, but there's one thing I just want to add to it is that when we are talking about taking risk, there's one thing in this life that we people we are the one that cause problem to each one of us. The reason why is that if every one of us believe that whatever we do in this world is a risk, if someone fail, we should not make jest of that person.
Yeah.
Because that person that is failed today, tomorrow it might be a champion. The reason why many people, when they fail and they have it difficult to continue, is because of those people around that person. They say, oh, you don't leave that place, you are not doing it well. Instead of encourage that person or look at that person where that person fits to do the things well, they started blaming that person, and it is the problem of every one of us today. So if we believe that taking risk may help us in future, we should not blame anybody who fail when that
Taking
person do something in first time. I remember Daniel Amokachi, if Elom can remember that.
Yeah, Amokachi.
Amokachi in one match, because due to his form, he cannot. It was not selected to play in first 11. It was on the bench. He's playing for Everton at that time, and they has been leading his team. I think it is final or semi-final. It's semi-final. They are going to qualify for the final, and the coach, they are leading them by 1 or 2-1, and the coach want to replace somebody. Without coaching calling him, he stand up and he replaced himself on the field, and he is the one that scored the goal. He is the one that scored the goal, 2 goals that day. It just take the risk, and the coach, they are now asking the coach as Amokachi enter for himself. If they lost the match, coach, what are you going to say? Now he enter without putting it in, and now he scored the 2 goals to save your team. What are you going to say? The coach said, well, yes, he's supposed to wait for him to put him in. I will still blame him, but thank God that he saved us today.
It was against Argentina.
So as Argentina,
Yeah, against Argentina.
so I remember that. So taking a risk is something that is very good, but please, those of you around us, when we take risk and we fail, we should not make jokes or make laugh of the person that failed by that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Is-
agree
is-
with exactly what you said. With taking risks, there's a lot of people. If we fail, there's a lot of people that are gonna talk about it and judge us. But the best thing is just to close our ears and not listen to what the people are saying, and just continue doing what we do and continue taking risk, I would say.
Yeah.
And the thing about taking risk is something with change. People are not comfortable with change, and when it comes to change, people are scared. And they always say that Michael Jordan said this. He said, you can take, if you take like 23 shots, if you took 0, you didn't take that risk and you didn't take any shots, you're not going to score anything. But you took 23 shots, so your chances of scoring are higher.
Hi, yeah.
So take risks. That's what I'll say.
Okay, thank you. We are coming back.
Seat. You are now tuning into the Hot Seat. This is an international sports FM. We literally host every and any information regarding sports in every country. Whatever country you're looking for, whatever state you're looking for, you can definitely find us there. We have information from Europe, Asia, China, the Americas. We are all over. So guess what? Tune in to Sports FM, especially the Hot Seat. And guess who's hosting? Zaire and his company. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's move to our next program. Hello.
Yeah.
So what happened
I'm
in
here.
Sergio Sports tournament at Parliament?
So many things happen. A lot of things happen. We've talked about that tournament last week.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen. Matches were played, There were fees, the atmosphere, everything. The federation also refused them to play on the pitch and all those things. That we have to change the pitch on the, especially on Sunday, for the semi-finals and the finals and all, and the final and all those things. So it was good there. It was good though, as usual. It's a tournament that used to come up every year. This year's own was the 15th edition, so that means something that used to come out every time, and people, are pleased when they went there. Especially the important element in that is that we said it last week, is that they used to reward some of our old players that have played for this country before, that people have forgotten about. Many of them, people do not even remember them and all those things. So especially this edition, they rewarded 8 people again, but we have 3 names that call our attention. We have Akusa Camelio. Everybody in Togo football must know that man. He's the one that bring up Sheye Emmanuel Adebayo at Kojovia Kope there. He center Sporting Club at Kojovia Kope there. So that is where Sheye Emmanuel Adebayo was exploded. Then they were playing a national cup. Then they were in the semi-final or something like that. He entered into the game. He played very well. So that is where, that was the beginning of the man, the great star of Togo today. So Akusa Camilo have formed a lot of stars in Togo football. Many of them, many people that were in the team of the World Cup in 2006 passed through his hands. Many people in South Africa in 2013, the quarterfinal, all those things. Many people, a lot of stars, Togo stars in Togo standard, of course, not in worldly standard, passed through his hands, and he has done a lot of work for this football. So he was rewarded last Saturday at Balime in that tournament. And also Bawa Bako is one of the greatest coach that Togo has had here in Togo. If you see his experience, how where he started from and where he finally, and he's an old man today, he is not able to, he cannot coach again because he's so old. He's working with Atando now. He's a counselor there in the team of Atando. He used to work with the coach, so he's one of the greatest coach also in Togo. And also another coach who is Agbetrobu Delali. Agbetrobu Delali also is the coach that we know very well. Especially he's the coach that used to give out every day, new proverbs. When you used to interview him, he has proverb with one coach also like that. So those are the three names, especially that call our intention. So it was a very good event, and as usual, 16 teams were engaged in that tournament. And we remind us that for the old people that we used to call here the Gaillard, those that are above 40 years. If you are less than 40 years, you are not allowed to play. So if you are above 40 years, 45, 15, and all that, you will. So we have a lot of our players that Jima Ole used to play. We have Senaya, the big one. Yeah, the older one. He is coach of Nashtigal and all those things. So we used to see a lot of people. Unfortunately, this year's own fun in a time of championship. So players, for instance, like Wajalantam was not there. A lot of players was not there in the tournament because of the championship and all those things. So 16 teams were engaged. It was 4 groups of 4 clubs or 4 teams each. And at the end of the day, it was Gaia FC of Aflao that was, coronated champion of this year. They've beaten EDL of Lomé. EDL of Lomé is a team that just came into the tournament this year. This was their first participation, and they have done so great. They have done in the semi-final. They have beaten Nashtigal. When they are talking of Nashtigal, I saw Nashtigal so many times at the tournament because I used to go to that tournament, but this year because of something I did not go. So I've seen Nashtigal. It's one of the team one of the favorites in every edition. So for a newcomer to beat Nashtigal, that means they have done so great. And in the final, the score was 3-2 for the Aflao Gaias and all those things. So the score was 0-0 till they went to the break. So it is on the second period in the second period that they scored 5 goals. So that means the second period was so spectacular. It was very good, and anything ended up, in fair play, in fraternity, and all those things. And that was the most important messages that we can see in that thing. And the unfortunate part, we've said it before, is this conflict that is going on now between Sergio and the Federation. We've said it. We know that the Federation is one of the the institution that used to work with Sergio, but since because of something of organization, they took it from Sergio and all those things. The two institutions, as we are speaking, are not in a good term. Reason why normally when that tournament if that tournament is in the program, that tournament used to come up every Pentecost weekend. Everybody knows that. So that is why in every Pentecost weekend we don't have matches either for first division, second division, because he is not doing that tournament for his own glory. Or we've said it. Yeah. He used to reward the players of the country, the people that have honor. So normally it's the nation that's supposed to do that. It's the federation that's supposed to institute that. So because they are not doing it, if somebody is doing it, they need to support that person. That is what they have been doing so greatly. But unfortunately this year, that conflict that was between the two did not allow them. Nobody was able to put aside his ego. Everybody wants to be the boss, and at the end of the day, the play on Sunday on the pitch of Gomido on Saturday, but on Sunday they were obliged to go elsewhere to play the match, and it was a pity. But thank God everything went well, and with this conjuration of the guy of Aplau.
Oh, I'm very happy because, as you have said last week, that as this goes on, maybe the match is not going to hold up. But as things is now, I'm very happy. But I just want to ask you something, Elom. The tournament that Sergio used to organize, is this just for only football and those who have been playing football for a long time, those who have been retired? What of other sports? Are they not participating in that tournament?
No, there are not other sports. Maybe that is his own zone of interest. Maybe another person also should take, for instance, for basketball. because basketball also Togo have little history when they are talking of basketball. We have history, so many players of basketball, especially, and also I think volley also Togo have a little history in that too. So yeah, as you said it's good, but Sergio maybe his own zone of interest is football. That is what he's interested in. We have had people that have also worked in basket that are great people today that have the financial power to institute a tournament like that also for the basket, the old basket player. But if they don't have the will, so that is what he see that he can do. That is what we cannot now criticizing that why do you do, because it's a lot of financial need also. That thing only we know. We are in Togo. When they are talking of sponsor, we know how it's difficult to find a sponsor in Togo. So that thing he is doing, it's for now is great. Maybe we'll be hoping maybe tomorrow he can maybe decide to add also other sports and all those things. So who knows, maybe it can add other sport, but it's also, if he added other sport now, it also demands a lot of more infrastructure. So maybe if he added basket now, do we have good basket park now in Palime that can hold that tournament? That is also another question, because in this big Lome we have only sums that are practicable and all those things. So that also is another thing. If he added volley now, do we have a place in Palime where they can play volley, for instance? That is also another problem. So if you have to add other things, it will also bring another problem. But we'll see what will happen in the coming
Okay, thank
years.
you
Yeah.
for enlightening us about the Sergo Sports Tournament in Parliament. So, Mr. Zaya, please, can you tell us more about basketball?
Basketball. So, as we all know, we're currently in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
And we have the Oklahoma City Thunder playing against the Indiana City Pacers, which has been interesting. The first two games. The first game, we all saw that Denver took a big lead, and then OKC took a big lead, and then Indiana came in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and came back and beat them, which shocked a lot of people. But game two, we saw OKC show their prowess and beat Indiana by 20 plus points, which is what everybody expected. So now the question is, going into Indiana, playing in Indiana, will they be able to continue to play at that level and close out the series and become the champions? Or will Indiana show them something? Me personally, I'm expecting Oklahoma City to continue and beat them the next 3 games and then call it a series.
No, I am with the process, because as you know, maybe or as you don't know, we have one Cameroonian that is performing very well, Pascal Siakam, who was the MVP of the finals of the E Zone. When they played the finals of the E, he was the MVP. So he's a very good player. It's not that I like Indiana, but just because of that player, he's representing Africa there. So we are behind Pascal Siakam. We expect that he will do a very good thing in that tournament and maybe eliminate the Knicks. Yeah.
But in basketball around the world,
since you left, we did not talk about because I know he will tell me that I don't know, Jordan is bigger than so.
I don't want to talk about that. I just want to ask if there's any Togolese player in NBA.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
There's Ariel Huporti, who plays for
Swallows.
Yeah, he played at Swallows,
Yeah, Swallows,
and then he plays for the Knicks. And then in this draft, there's another player that was in college.
Yeah.
He played in UConn, and he's expected to be selected in the top 10, top 12. So
Wow.
we do have
At least 2.
Togolese.
Yeah,
Togolese,
they are
yeah.
coming. Yeah.
That is great. That is great.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, thank you very much. We're coming back.
Come on, turn your radio on. Every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Gonna talk about sport and it will be fun. It's Sport FM 91.9 and it is the best and first in Africa.
Okay, let's talk about the end of the national championship, the first division. Hello.
Yeah, the first division, we we know how he was going to end and all those things. We've said it last week that it's a pity that our championship now always played itself in the offices rather than playing on pitch. Everything is has been already defined in the offices. We know who will finish champion. There are some caliber of people in this football. Every year, whenever you see them in the midst of one team or whatever you see them among the board of one team, just know that if that team is in the second division, they will mount the first division. But if they are in the first division, they will be qualified for the continent. So I don't know how they used to do it, but that is what happened this year. And it's painful for things to be going like that. But the result of the last day, Isaka, who finally was coronated champion, have an easy victory over AS Bina, 3-0. And Thunder traveled to the side of CDF Faknu, and CDF Faknu was beaten by Thunder 1-0. ASCO also have shattered Tambo FC of Hudacha 4-1. 0-0 again between Espoir of Zion and Dumbe of Mango. Gomido also drew against Etoile Filande and 1-1, and Barracuda also played a draw of 0-0 against Unisport. Isotea was beaten by Boloesu. So that was the clash of the day, because Boloesu was second in the ranking and was third in the ranking, and Isotea were second in the ranking. But according to the rumors that we have, is that Isaka will be crowned champion and Boloesu will be the second. And
according to the rumor,
that was the rumor. But at the end of the day,
it happens as the rumor comes.
Yeah, the rumor has come, as always in Togo. So it's a pity. In the beginning of every season, if you are close to some people, they will tell you that, for instance, in the second division, they will tell you that no, at the end of the season, before this thing of playoff came in, they will tell you that at the end of the season, this club will mount. I remember when Tambo was mounted the first division, in the beginning of the season, the man I talked about that now is with Bolesu, was with Tambo then, and they told us that no, everything has been planned. Tambo will mount the first division, and it's happened like that. So that means our championship are no more played on the pitch, but it's the person or the team that they want to promote that will be crowned champions and all those things. So, but it's not helping us. We see that with ASCO. Many times, the title of ASCO was contested because, it's like everything is already written somewhere that they will be. And when they went to the continent, we see that it's not helping them.
It's not helping
because
them. They are not doing
well.
They're not on the level. Like, they're not playing on the level.
They are on the level that normally, if we don't have that team, they will play in a very good challenge. Team will be there to challenge them and all those things. So, and they will know their real level. But if they did not, if they just say that
because they are not well competitive at home.
They are not well competitive, and if they went to the continent, that will be fatal for them. It will not help them, and they will find themselves so low to their adversary, and you will see that they will be beaten and all those things, and they will tell you, they are learning. This is their first time. This is their this. This is their that. Simba, who recently played the final of I think it's the Confederation Cup, or the Champions League, African Champions League, or the Confederation Cup. Simba, that was just, I think their first participation, but they went to the final. There is this club also that played the final against RS Berkane of Morocco. That was this Egyptian club. I've forgotten the name. That was their
Al Ali,
Al Ali. That was their second participation. But they were crowned champion. Yeah, they participated for the first time.
They have Al Ali, Arab contractor, and those things.
And all that. So their second participation, they were champion. They were champions of Africa in Africa Champions League. So it is not an excuse that this is just our first participation. This is just our second participation. ASCO has been going to the continent, for instance, like for 4 consecutive times. But for once, they never passed the group phase. They never even entered the Champions League group phase. The first time they entered the group phase is that they were eliminated in the Champions League. So they reverse them into the Coupe CAF. That is where they even entered the group phase, and they did not even pass the group phase. So for 5 years or 4 consecutive years, they never even played a single group phase in Champions League. But we are not learning from that. Every time we fabricate our champions on paper, we say because of this, because of that, and at the end of the day, it's not helping us. And same thing in the head of the table, and the same thing also at the down of the
You
table.
want to ask us?
Yeah, I want to ask a question first.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask basically. So who do you feel like has like the level to be able to go out there and play and represent their team?
No, it's difficult to tell a team now, because if instructions are already given, you will not see teams that will really show their real level. They are obliged to play. If you see the level with which Antando started this championship, you can say that if they went to the continent, everything will be well. But at the break, after the first leg of the championship, it's like this. Tell them something and
somewhere, say step down,
playing,
go slow.
If you say
It's not your time.
yeah,
It's not yet your time.
it's not
Just cool
just
down.
cool down, because Isaac also have waited for Asco to go now before so it's now time to reward Isaac. I don't know if you see how OTR has been playing. For instance, if they have leave off there to produce their own game, we can say that OTR can have the level to go to the continent. They can do it very well, but because they will give them instruction, you must allow yourself to be beaten by this and all that, and you will not really see but at least I believe that if Antando played very freely and all those in the OTA also, I believe that they can represent very well the continent. Aseka also in those days was a team that used to play very well. Normally, if this team was not existing, like seriously, Aseka could have been champion over Asco so many times.
Well, I remember last year when we talked about, like we had this discussion, and you explained that the teams that usually go on are the teams that have like the funds to be able to raise funds for all the expenses.
Yeah.
So if your team doesn't have enough funds for the expenses, they don't usually move on, and they say, So would you say that if Entente 2 was able to go, do they have like enough finances to be able to like compete?
In terms of finances, I cannot assure you, but in terms of football production and all those things, their level is very good. But in terms of finance, they're a little bit strong. If we are talking about OTA, we are talking about OTA. That is the richest institution here in Togo, because there is them that are collecting tax and all those things. Yeah, it's true that they will tell you that the budget of the team is not in the budgets of the institution. But if you tell the person that people that are working in OTA, they are millionaires. If one person can do that at Antando, I don't believe that the president of Antando is richer than all the people working there at OTA. So I want to believe that really if they have the will to do it, they can do it and all that. But that is it. That is where we are waiting for Bolesu also now. I don't really know if Bolesu can make it up to the continent now in terms of finance, because I don't know. We'll wait and see what they will do. Maybe they promoted them. They will be ready to help them so that they can represent the country. Maybe so. That is it.
Okay.
And at the down of the table also, I said last week that I don't believe that 12 Finland will go, but I was thinking that Aknu do not have, big people, but I have received information that Aknu have people more than a 12 Finland here in that institution. So finally, but the official ranking is not out yet, the official classification, because there are some cases that they used to normally those cases used to be settled before
the last matches.
The two last matches of the season, but because they are waiting, maybe if they settle those case, the results on the pitch will not help their people, so they are waiting to now settle who to help and who not to help, and that also is not good, but we are in it already.
But if a final goes to second division, it is very, very bad. Very, very bad. Because they're big teams, so I would love them to be in the first division. But
they did not want to stay. So
Okay, thank you very much. That's about the first division. So let's move to the second division.
Yeah, the second division also a lot of things happened. It was also the last day of their normal phase. After this now they will be entering into the playoff set. And in the North Zone we have the victory of Fuada and get Big 1-0. Agua was beaten by Kakadel 0-1. Tak, yeah, also was beaten by US Kozan 2-1. Semasi also, yeah, win their match against Koroki of Chamba. And in the sub zone, we have Ange of Nochen that has beaten 1-0 GCR. Dito or play drew against Maranta 1-1. Asfosa also has beaten Arabia of Tabligbo. Arabia final, we don't even know what this club wants. They were beaten again 2-1. And the match between Agaza and Ifoje was not played because according to rumor, the players of Ifoje were not up to the number. According to the laws, if your players are not up to 8 or 9, the match will not be played.
How come is that?
Yeah, they say that when they were coming, there was an accident on the road of, Ifoje is at Takpame. So, and you know that road, they used to call it the national road number 1. But if you see the road is so
tiny.
It's not that space. So, yeah, truly there was an accident and so many cars could not move again because it was a trailer before them that had and all those things. So it's like the trailer was spoiled or something like that. So the big cars could not pass again. So maybe small cars. So what they say is that they've come out from their big cars, now their boss, and they now took some small cars. And according to what they say is that some players reached the stadium very early, but some were not there according to the time that they were supposed to be there. So they were beaten on forfeit 3-0 and all those things. So but the official notes that they said is that they needed to fill up some papers before the beginning of the match, because if you had to play match, you need to fill those papers. So for them not to fill the papers, that really means that the players were not there. They can say that the players are there, but they are not there. So if the players are not there, you cannot fill up the paper. So that's what happened to them. Even if they win, they are going to the third division or something. It will not change anything for them. But it can change something at Agaza side. Maybe Agaza could not have been qualified. Other team could have been qualified, but they were beaten on forfeit. And now Agaza is qualified for the playoff. And if you take the teams that are qualified for the playoff in the sub zone, we have Dito, we have Agaza, and we have Maranatha. Those are the clubs that are qualified for the playoffs. And in the North Zone, that is the Pool B, we have Semasi, who is, in action to return back to the first division. They don't want to spend even 1 year there. Kakadel also is qualified for the playoffs, and US Koza also is qualified. US Koza is the old Arsenal. Is the second team of Iseka, so they also qualify for the playoff. So the playoff will be starting soon among those 6 teams, and the end of the championship, I think the first 2 will be mounting the first division and all that. So if you take Ange and Bikenti, they are already relegated to the second division. Anything can happen. They don't even have people there at the federation to turn things up there for them to remain there. So they are already relegated, so nothing can happen to them again. So the rest of the season now will be among those 6 clubs: Dito, Agaza, Maranatha, Semasi, Kakadel, and US Koza.
And it will be very, very great to see Semasi and Nagasa to come back to Division 1.
Why not Maranatha?
Maranatha.
I know that we talk about Agaza. I know that.
You know the reason why I love Maranatha before? Yeah. But since they have been 10-1 goals, because they need 10 goals to stay on in Division 1. I don't know how to get that 10 goals.
That was also another scenario, Bikenti and Maranatha, because they want to to help the 2 teams to stay in the first division. So
and they produced 10 goals.
Manipulated things, and they would it's 10 goals or 11 something like that. So, and those are also one cases in our football. So one of the cases in our football. So it's still like that. Nothing changed. Only that they don't score 11 goals, but They have other means to do it now. So that is it. That is Togo football for you.
Yes.
11 goals is too it's too obvious.
Yes.
It's clear.
Okay, yeah, it's
Really
too clear.
obvious, yeah.
It's too clear, and no, it's not good. So they have other means now today, but those other means now also are very clear. Everybody is seeing it, so they will have to change a method again to find another strategy.
That is why we have one north, one south to qualify for the Africans.
Okay, thank you very much. We're coming back.
This is Weekly Take on Sport FM 91.9. Let's enjoy it together.
Okay, now let's talk about the Nation League Final Four.
Yeah, the Nation League Final Four that was played in Deutschland. You know, the Nation League, we all know it's a competition that we have many zones. We have some teams that are in the zone, the first zone. There is the Group A. We have some that are in the Group B and all those things. So the Final Four was the teams that were qualified for the Final Four. We have Deutschland, we have Spanish, we have French, and we have
Denmark.
Portugal. No, Denmark was not
not
in.
covered.
Yeah, we have Portugal.
Spain, Portugal, France, and
Yeah,
Dutch.
so France played this team. How do we call it?
Spain.
No.
They lost against Spain.
Spain. They played Spain in the semi-final, and they lost again Spain, and it was a very spectacular game. 5-4 at the arrival. Spain was leading 5-1
to 1.
And Didier Deschamps made some substitution. Sheki came in, and some players, and everything turned upside down. And they've tried their best, but at the end of the day, they were eliminated 5-4. And also in the other match, we have Portugal that has beaten Germany 2-1. The Germany opened the mark, but before we can know, Conceição scored a goal, and Cristiano Ronaldo also scored a goal. So that was the first victory of Portugal over Germany since 25 years. Since 2000, yeah. Their last victory over Germany was in 2000 at the Euro 2000. And then the father of Conceição that scored last time was the man that scored a hat-trick that time. And 25 years after, his son that equalized for Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo. And so Portugal and Spain was qualified for the final. Everybody was saying Spain, that they will overthrow, they will overcome, and all those things. But at the end of the day, it's Portugal that has beaten Spain in the penalty shootout 5-4 because Morata was not able to transform his penalty. In the regular time, we have 2-2. Cristiano Ronaldo has scored again, but it was remaining 2 minutes for the regular time to end. He was injured. He was injured before the beginning of the match itself. When they were warming up, he was injured, but he forced himself to play it. And he stand till 88 minutes, but he could no more carry it, and he was substituted. The prolongation or the extra time of 0-0, and in the penalty shootout, Morata did not play. But if you see, apart from the penalty of Morata, the nine other penalties were so good. They were so good played technically in terms of precision and all those things. It was marvelously played, but Morata played his own. It was not so strong and all those things. So the goalkeeper of Portugal, Diogo Jota, captured it.
To me, I don't know what Morata is still finding that team.
Yeah, the question is, if apart from Morata, do we really have a very strong number 9 today in Spanish? That is the question. Oyarzabal is not a real number 9. That is also the problem with Portugal now. People are shouting, Cristiano is old. Cristiano is this thing.
That's what they said against Cristiano the last World Cup.
That was the debate everywhere. He is not allowing you to emerge. But the question is, if you see the youth now, if you take, for instance, Gonzalo Ramos, he is not part totally of the team of PSG. He used to start every matches on bench. He do substitution. If you take Rafael Leão, he had a very bad season there at AC Milan. So people that are supposed to replace them, they are not doing. If they had their chance, they don't used to capture it. I remember the last games of Portugal without Cristiano, they all end up with a defeat. at times you will see them, they will be defeating them, and when he will enter, he will be the one. So yeah, it's true that he's old, but the people that are supposed, to take the relay are not also helping. So that is why maybe you are. Apart from that, we have many players that used to deceive in Portugal. Bernardo Silva, for instance, I cannot remember one good game of Bernardo Silva with Portugal. Bruno Fernandes is the one that used at times to try and do something. Rafael Leão, every time he's worse every year. So the people that are supposed to take the relay are not that good.
But I just want to add something, because the match I watched between Portugal and Spain, I see the old man against the young man. I mean Ronaldo against Lamine Yamal. But to me, as the match, the Lamine Yamal play. But as the match goes, I'm very happy because of Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes. No, let me tell you something.
I hope he's not Zaya talking.
No, it's not me talking. It's ambassador.
You know the reason why? Because Cristiano Ronaldo is supposed to end his own career.
Yeah.
But in that match, he did very well.
Yeah.
He did very well. So, and for Portugal, they should watch their game, because after Cristiano Ronaldo leave that team, it's going to be a big problem for them to come together and start winning the match.
What is good now with Cristiano is that before you will see him, he want to do all by himself. Now you know that he's old. So he adapts his age to go. He just know how to position himself. You know that he cannot run. You know how to be at the right time, and that is very good. You know, he's more collective now that he's older than before, and that was their second coronation in that competition. They were the team that win the first edition of the Nations League. I remember that in the semi-final he scored a hat-trick against Switzerland, and in the final they've beaten Holland. And this year only is the fourth edition, and they were coronated again. Last year it was Spain that was coronated, and the last in 2023 it was France with Benzema and all those things. So they are now, they have 2 stars in that competition now. It's good for them.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed us. Like, this is very, very interesting. So let's round off the program with Mr. Zayar.
Oh yeah, so
You'll be
thank
here
you.
next Tuesday, and by then we'll talk more.
We'll see, because
We'll talk more about basketball because there is no more football, so
Yes.
we'll have time to talk.
as long as we talk about basketball, I'll most likely be here. But thank you for having me again. It was a pleasure, and see y'all next time.
Thank you very much for listening to us today. Thank you very much.
See you next time.
Wow.